I took creatine every day for 6 weeks. As a calisthenics athlete, will it make me too heavy or will it give me extra strength to progress quicker? To see how the creatine affects me, we're going to be doing body scans before and after, and we're going to measure my skills and see how I progress. This is the creatine that I'm going to be taking. It is from Complement. I will be taking around 5 grams or 1 heaping teaspoon every day for the next 6 weeks. I had never considered taking creatine before because I thought it was only for bodybuilders, and because I train for skill, it didn't really make sense for me to take it because I wouldn't want to get heavier faster than I got stronger. That is until I got an email from Complement outlining all the health benefits, and they talked about how it's not just for bodybuilders, and that really intrigued me. So I thought I would give it a go, see if it helped me progress in calisthenics faster, and also see if it affected my lifestyle. I'm also interested to see if it's going to help me with my calisthenics skills or if it's going to make me too heavy and actually cause me to regress. For those of you who don't know, my name is Summerfunfitness. I'm a self-taught calisthenics and hand balancing athlete and coach. I have no prior gymnastics experience. I started teaching myself as an adult. This will be my very first time taking creatine. Alongside the creatine, I will only be taking a multivitamin and a greens powder. I don't take any pre-workouts. I really don't like to rely on supplements too much, so I rarely even take a protein powder. My training intensity and frequency will stay the same as per usual. I'll be working out around 5 days per week. I do upper body every single day. My skill focus is going to be on the front lever. That is my primary goal. My secondary goal is to slightly improve my planche and work towards my 90-degree handstand push-up, and then maintain all of my other calisthenics basics. Now, before I start taking creatine, we need to measure my starting strength level, beginning with my main goal, the front lever, which I absolutely cannot do right now. So here's my best attempt at holding a full front lever, lowering from the top down. As you can see, I couldn't extend my legs. I wanted to see how high I could get with a fully straight body, and I think it's safe to say I'm nowhere near holding a full front lever. Next, I attempted full front lever raises. I couldn't get all the way up, and my form needs work. Please remember that I'm testing my maxes. This is not what I would do in training. Then we have front lever rows. I got 2 in an advanced tuck and 8 in a tuck for a total of 10 reps. Onto tuck planche push-ups. I felt super strong in the first 2 reps, but things quickly went downhill after the 3rd. I managed 6 reps. I haven't been training planche, which became very obvious today as I couldn't hold the straddle at all. So I resorted to an advanced tuck, but even that was difficult. Ending our day with weighted pull-ups, 60 pounds moved easily, so I jumped up to 70, but I wasn't able to complete the rep. I would love to hit this weight by the end of this challenge. And now that you've seen my starting strength level, it's time to see what my starting body composition is like. We're here at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan campus at the Health and Science Center. We're going to be meeting with a researcher to get some scans done to measure my starting point, and we're going to get her opinion on what she thinks will happen by taking creatine for the 6 weeks. Let's go get scanned. So we'll start with who you are.
Hi. My name is Dr. Sarah Purcell. I'm an assistant professor and Tier 2 Canada Research Chair at the University of British Columbia. My lab investigates appetite and energy metabolism.
Okay, and then you want to tell us a bit about the scan that we're doing today?
Yeah, so the scan that you're going to be doing today is called a dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. We call it DEXA. Obviously, it's a long name. And basically what it does is it's dual energy. So you'll see the arm as it goes over you, it sends 2 different energies. You don't feel it, it's very safe, but the difference in how those energies hit your body and go back to the arm, that tells us the density of your tissues. So that's going to tell us if it's fat, muscle, or bone.
And then we're gonna do another one about water?
Correct. So there's lots of different ways to measure your body composition. So the DEXA scan is one of the most accurate methods to do so. It's a gold standard for measuring body composition. It's a bit more accurate. Another approach is called bioelectrical impedance analysis, or BIA. It's a little bit less accurate for a lot of reasons. However, it is really good for assessing changes in body composition across time, and because you're interested in doing intervention with creatine, creatine can draw water into the muscles. And so we're going to do both scans to see if there's a change in your total body water, where that body water is being stored, whether inside the cells or outside the cells, as well as your DEXA.
And do you think in a trained individual that I will see changes by taking creatine?
Yes, in terms of body composition, now how you feel and how you perform, like you may see changes for sure. But from the DEXA, it's hard to say. And I'm not sure if you're gonna see changes over 6 weeks just because you are very highly trained. However, that's kind of why we're doing the BIA scan as well, to see if there are any changes. And again, you could see really good changes in your performance or how you feel. I'm really curious to see too, because we might see changes.
Yeah.
And especially like someone like yourself who's probably very, very consistent, we might see changes in body composition and body water. So
okay,
we'll see. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, let's go do the scan then.
Okay. I'm gonna have you lie on the bed on your back. Your arms are gonna be by your side, but not touching your side, with your hands kind of like with your thumbs up. Good. It should take about 5 to 8 minutes or so. So you can go ahead and step on.
The test is completed.
So these are your results. The first one that I'm showing you is your bone mineral density. And so your bone mineral density is actually about 2 standard deviations above the mean. So that means you have really strong bones, stronger than most people.
I'm right at the top.
Yes.
That's so nice.
And then the second sheet here is your total body fat percent, as well as your lean tissue. And you are 1.2 standard deviations below the population mean. So given these results and given your case study of trying creatine for 6 weeks, I'm curious to see what you think is going to happen, or what you want to happen.
I'm going to tell you what I want to happen because I don't have enough knowledge on creatine itself. But what I want to happen is to see strength increases in all of my skills. I'm hoping to not put on a lot of weight, because I feel like if I gain even a lot of water weight really quickly, I won't be strong enough to make up for that increased weight, since it's happening quite quickly compared to like how I would normally put weight on. So I might end up being too heavy for calisthenics and finding that my skills go down.
That's such an interesting point, because I have the same prediction. Like it could be possible that your mass increases a little bit, and we're going to see that more in the BIA results, so in your water maybe. But I didn't like it. It makes sense that would really potentially harm performance from a calisthenics athlete, but maybe not. I'm really curious to see the result.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. I really appreciate it.
Fun. Now that you know my starting strength level and my body composition, I'm ready to take my first glass of creatine. We're on our way to the gym, and this is my very first time taking creatine. It hasn't even been opened before. We actually went to the store and got our own special little scoop so we can make sure we're keeping it consistent. This bag says to do 1 heaped teaspoon, which is 5 grams. So we got 1 teaspoon here. I'm not sure what it's going to taste like. I think it's not supposed to have a flavor. Now add it to our water, making a mess everywhere. How much do we have to shake it? Oh, it dissolved really quick. It has a flavor. I don't know how to describe it. Almost like maybe drinking baking soda a little bit. A very, very mild taste. Okay, I'm gonna finish this off and then go to the gym. The first morning after taking creatine, I woke up so sore and so dehydrated. It felt like the skin on my neck and my back was so tight. Like I lost all of my flexibility, had a slight headache, had a little bit of pain in my lower abdomen, and then I realized I had forgotten to increase my water intake to account for taking creatine. My eyes were also a little bit itchy, and that kind of continued for the first week. It really was pretty rough to drink enough water to not feel dehydrated. And in general, I do drink plenty of water, and I don't normally get any headaches or feel stiff, so that was definitely different. Week 2 continued with the struggle of trying to drink enough water, but I also started to feel quite heavy, and then I needed way more sleep. Normally, I always sleep 8 hours at night, wake up ready for the day, but I found that with taking creatine, I would wake up still tired, craving extra rest, and I actually started to feel like my arms were just too heavy. So my first thought in the morning would be, I have to go back to sleep. My arms are too heavy to pick up. I also despise naps, but there was a few days where I needed some naps, and one day where I even slept for 4 hours in the middle of the day, which is not usual for me. Other than that, my workouts were going the same. I was just feeling a little bit more stiff and needed more rest time. As we started to get into week 3, I really felt like I needed more rest days. I ended up taking 3 full rest days, which I just don't normally do. And normally on my rest days, I'm quite active. I'll go hiking, play outside, but I was just needed to be stationary. At least it felt that way in order to recover. Also, for the very first time, I could feel the muscles on my back hanging off of me. Like they felt so big and 3D, and just when I was walking, I'm so aware of where my biceps are and the back muscle hanging off my mid back. And I just started to feel heavy overall. Towards the end of the 3 weeks, I definitely was feeling heavier. I noticed my abs started to get a lot more bulky. I was a lot more round. I hadn't seen any muscular gains or strength gains at this point, but it started to affect my day-to-day life. So most days we would go swimming, and all suddenly, like I love swimming, love diving, all suddenly it felt like I was swimming holding 20-pound dumbbells. Like I could barely swim at all. It was so heavy. I was so out of breath. I couldn't even free dive just because I couldn't manage to hold my breath long enough. And then I was also running out of air walking upstairs or just walking up our very steep driveway. And now I don't do any cardio in the gym. I just kind of walk my dog or casually swim. I definitely noticed a big effect on that. Cardio was not going well. Gym, going fine. Week 4 was when everything started to even out. I had gotten used to drinking excessive amounts of water. Again, still sleeping a really long period of time, but starting to feel less heavy. Starting to feel like this is my body. Things are just feeling a lot more balanced. As far as workouts, again, didn't see any strength gains, just the slow progression that I'm normally used to each training block. As far as physique changes, I noticed that my veins started to get a little bit bigger and just that my abs were getting bulkier. And that's pretty well it. Week 5 and week 6, everything went so well. It started to feel like my body again. I didn't need excessive rest on the weekends. Instead, I was able to go hiking all day long, not feel like I was out of breath. I'm no longer thinking about how heavy my arms are or how heavy my back is. I'm just able to live my life how I was before taking creatine. I did start to notice way more little muscles, more veins, more striations going on, and just feeling thicker in my resting state overall. But we need to go back and get my body composition scanned because I don't know if this extra fluff, this extra bulk is muscle or if it's just water weight. We're back at UBCO to meet with Dr. Sarah Purcell to do my final testing day. Let's go.
Well, Summer, thank you so much for coming back in. I was really curious to see your results, and I think we did see a little bit of changes. So the first test we're looking at here is the results of your BIA scan, which stands for Biological Impedance Analysis. And this measures more about like your distribution and amount of total body water. Creatine sometimes can, it draws in water to your muscles. So this is what I was thinking we would definitely see a change in. Interestingly, we didn't see any changes in your extracellular or total body water. I'm not sure why, but there's a lot of things that can affect this. So things like previous activity, where you are in your menstrual cycle, all of that can affect that. So it's nothing to be alarmed about.
Yeah, it was just such a big surprise with how much more water I needed to drink overall.
Yeah, and you were saying that you were really dehydrated. You know, maybe that had something to do with it. This is your results from today, and then this is your results from August. And basically what we see is your lean mass actually increased about 1.5 kilos, which is huge, right? And then your fat decreased just a touch. I wouldn't say, you know, it was 20.1 to 19.6. I wouldn't say that's, you know, huge, but the fact that you were able to put on lean mass without a big change in percent fat that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's so ideal, right? Everyone
Yes.
wants to put on more muscle, more weight, but
Yes.
not more fat.
Yes.
So then what do you think will happen if I go off of creatine? Because we didn't see an increase in water.
I don't know if I would expect to see that much of a difference when you go off. I mean, maybe a small decrease in your total body water, maybe a small decrease in your lean tissue, but I think that that's actual gains in muscle. So I don't know if I would expect to see that much of a difference, maybe a small change. But
that would be very nice if everything stayed the same when going off of it. Big thank you to Dr. Sarah Purcell for having me in and doing the scans and for helping me to understand all of the numbers. I cannot believe the results. As an already trained athlete, I didn't think we would see much changes in 6 weeks. I thought we would mostly see changes in water weight. I was not expecting to gain roughly 4 pounds of muscle in such a short period of time. Only doing calisthenics, not even bodybuilding, is so crazy. I'm very, very impressed with the results overall. Visually speaking, the biggest difference that I see in my body is actually my relaxed posture. So I feel like when I'm just walking around, my muscles look a lot bigger, a lot more full, a lot more defined. I haven't noticed as big of a difference when I'm actually flexed. If you remember, my main concern was that I was gonna get too heavy too quickly and that I would actually regress in my calisthenics skills. So let's go into my final testing day to see how I did. We're starting off with front lever, of course. I saw massive gains here. I'm getting so much closer to holding a full front lever. I definitely have a ways to go, but I'm so happy with these results. I'm now able to pull all the way up in a full front lever raise, which is also a big improvement. Then we have front lever rows. I added 1 more rep of the advanced tuck and jumped from 10 total reps all the way up to 16 reps. I'm blown away by this rep increase. Moving on to tuck planche push-ups. If you remember, these were feeling quite heavy, which resulted in 6 reps. Well, today I beat that number, finishing with 10. I also got my piked straddle planche back as well, although it's still quite challenging. And for the final test, will I be able to achieve my previous failed 70 pounds? Yes, I was able to get my chin over the bar. To recap, I gained roughly 4 pounds of muscle, no extra fat, no extra water weight, my skills improved, and my physique did as well. But I did feel very heavy in my day-to-day life. Now that we're at the end of the 6 weeks, I feel like everything has leveled out and I feel a lot more normal. However, I'm only gonna continue taking creatine until the bag runs out, and then I'm just gonna go off of it. I don't ever wanna reinitiate this starting process again just because it took so long for my body to adapt, and I have seen positive results, but not enough to continue taking it after the bag is empty. Thank you so much for watching this video, and once again, thank you to Dr. Sarah Purcell for your help. Let me know in the comments below if my results were what you expected, or if you have any additional questions about my experience. And as always, thank you for being here.